your Indonesian Filipino, your host, yours truly, Errol Sykes, coming back with another funny Filipino facts. Now, one of the things that I was really interested in the comments of one of my videos is that there was a consensus of people saying that if there's one thing that Filipinos hate, it's traffic. Whether you're in a province, small village, or even in Manila, you know, traffic is always going to be a killer. Yay, EDSA. So when it comes to traffic here in the Philippines, there's not really much to love about unless you're like me, sometimes a bit adventurous, and you have some sort of patience. A lot of Filipinos have a hard time coming to terms with traffic. I'm talking about 7 observations that I made in terms of traffic. And when I say traffic, I'm talking about the thing Filipinos in general act in traffic. I love you Filipinos, I really do, from the bottom of my puso right here. But there are certain things that are just, let's just get into it. Number 1, hustling for position. Especially when you're in Manila, this is completely true. So imagine you're driving on the highway and there's this intersection where other cars get onto the highway. Then there's a moment when they kind of merge into each other and it's pretty much anything goes. In Europe, where I'm from, there are rules. People that allow other drivers to come onto the highway and they limit their speed, or they make even room for the other driver to get onto the highway. That's not my observations here in the Philippines. Because what I've seen is that drivers just come onto the highway, they man their space. It doesn't matter whether you're coming from the other side, you just need to make sure that that space is not occupied by you. Otherwise, there's a lot of possible car accidents happen. What I will say though is this, I haven't seen traffic accidents happen in front of my eyes yet. But every time that I ride a Uber or a taxi and we're on a highway or a busy street and there's traffic come from other sides merging onto that road, it's always a little nip and tuck, a little bit of fight for room. Here in the Philippines, people just barge in, hit their klaxon and trying to find their own space and just continue their journey. If you're driving here in the Philippines but you're used to a different set of rules in the United States, North America or Europe, good luck with that. Packed transportation, and I've been told that this has been referred to or named habal-habal. Maybe it's a city like Manila or Iloilo City where you could see jeepneys with people being packed inside but also outside. Even on tricycles, some people would be sitting on the roof. Every person that they can get onto their jeepney or get onto their tricycle is another extra peso. Just know that it's kind of normal for people here in the Philippines to be outside of the bus, hanging on the furthest end of the bus, or even be sitting on top of the roof. Speaking of provincial roads, they can be very, very tricky, bumpy, and all those type of things. The Philippines is susceptible for weather and susceptible for things like typhoons. So when it rains, the provincial roads are really affected by that. So expect encountering some additional water from rain, maybe even cracked roads. Sometimes it's a two-way street that is blocked because of construction work, and then you will have like some sort of a traffic jam going from one way to another. And that one road that might be worked on for a couple of meters could actually turn into a 10, 20, or 30-minute delay. 4, bus stops everywhere. Whether you're riding a Jeep or a bus going from one city to another, there aren't really bus stops. Yeah, sure, they have bus terminals where you can get on the bus, but anything in between A and B allows you to get off at any given time. You just have to let the driver know or the guy that is selling the tickets that you want to get off somewhere, and they can pretty much do it. So it is kind of funny because there are no stops. You can pretty much go anywhere off the bus, anywhere between A and B. Number 5, calling while driving. This is something that doesn't happen all the time, but I've seen a couple of drivers do that. People get away with this. Even police, they don't bother if a driver is calling while being on the road and driving at the same time. In Europe, where I'm from, you get fined 250 euros for doing that. That is about 15,000 pesos. And for an average Filipino, that would mean a big chunk out of their monthly salary. I would say that the Philippines in general is kind of walk unfriendly. In the city, yes, there are sideways, there are paths for you to walk on, but depending on where you walk, it might be very limited. When you're in the province, there's no pavement. You simply just have to walk next to the road and almost share the road with other vehicles. Maybe that's also kind of embedded into the culture, because a lot of Filipinos that I meet don't even like walking anyway. They'd rather take that motorbike or tricycle ride than walking. This might be a topic for a different video, but the fact that a lot of Filipinos are unwilling to walk a short amount of distance and prefer to ride a bus or a tricycle instead might actually question their willingness to be healthy. So again, I'm not judging here, I'm just going off of my observations. A lot of Filipinos rather take a ride on a vehicle than walk to even something very close distant as a visit to a supermarket. No protection, and I saw this pretty much everywhere in the Philippines. Maybe 2 out of 10 would, but for the majority of Filipinos driving on a motorcycle, there's no protection, there's no helmet, and there's no leather jacket to prevent them from any harm while falling down. Again, I'm not saying that this is true for everything. I'm just making an observation from the things that I've seen in the streets in Boracay, in the province, in places like Calibo, but also smaller villages where a lot of people wear no protection. And even in the car, I've seen a lot of drivers drive around without their seat belts buckled in. So again, I made these videos just because I thought it was interesting and funny at the same time, because the things that a lot of Filipinos get away with here in traffic, you certainly would not get away with in the part of the world that I live, and even get fined for that. Even with all the things that are happening, especially with the hustling for position and people that are coming on traffic, and with a lot of traffic expanding, and I've never seen an accident happen in front of my eyes. So even though Filipinos might break the rules in a lot of sense, they kind of make it work, they kind of are practical with it. So those are my 7 observations when it comes to funny Filipino facts in traffic. Maybe there's a few things that I've overlooked. I would like to know and have a conversation with you in the comment sections below. What are the things that you hate about traffic in the Philippines? Now, if you're new to this channel, I make videos like these in order to educate, and maybe for all you Filipinos out there, give you a little bit of a mirror reflection based on the observations that I made. And hopefully for you guys out there, if you're traveling to the Philippines, especially for the first time, help you get prepared and make the most out of your trip here in the Philippines. I also got a vlog series called Pinoy Local, where I go into local experiences, talk to locals, and interview them, especially if they got a cool story. Basically, if there's something unique and really cool that is happening in the Philippines, I'm making videos about it. So please subscribe, hit that notification bell if you like more of these videos and you don't want to miss out on the next. If you're already subscribed, thank you so much. This is the reason why I make videos like these, to help educate, but also to inspire others and the world to show how beautiful the Philippines really, really is. On to the next one. I'm your Indonesian Filipino, your host, yours truly, Errol Sykes. And as we say in the Philippines, kita kits. All right, man. All right. So imagine you're into something catastrophic. No. That was about 7 things in traffic.
Hey, good luck on your video, man.
Thanks, man. Then there's a moment people that know about giving a pick their pot. It hasn't ended in something catastrophic. Whew, hard word. Okay, take care. I don't know. That's crazy.